Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the difference of brushes. Let's get started. Here's what I use. I use two brushes at this time. I use a round brush, and I think the barrel on this is pretty small. It's not the smallest one. I would probably say this is about an inch barrel. And then I use a flathead brush, but it's got rubber backing. And this one, I think I will try to look for this on Amazon. I like this one because it's a smaller paddle brush. So if you don't have long hair and you're one of my sisters out there that has shorter hair like myself, you want to use a paddle brush or a brush like this, I'm going to give you a few options today to try, and because they're great. They help when you're trying to straighten out your hair. So the first brush we're going to talk about is the round brush. The shorter your hair, it depends on how tight you want your curl. So if you're blow drying to get a really super tight curl, you'll go with a smaller one. If you want a more looser wave or lift, you'll go with a larger barrel. Now, if you have short hair, it doesn't mean you can't use a jumbo barrel. You could. If your hair is 3 or 4 inches and you go get the big 2-inch barrel, you could use that to get lift, especially if you're blow drying with heat at the roots and you're like lifting your hair up and out like that. It will give you lift. I've just tried different kinds of brushes, and these are the ones I have on hand, and these are the ones I keep going back to. I have purchased other brushes that just end up sitting in my drawer and they don't get used as much. I do like to keep my brushes, even though I don't use them all the time, because I may grow out my hair. You see me cut my hair, grow my hair, cut my hair, grow my hair. So I like to have many different kinds, so it doesn't hurt to have more than one. And so I keep them around just in case I end up needing them later. The first one we're going to start with is this little round one, and I'm currently using this in the back of my hair to get a curl going on here, to get this to be tight and under. And the reason for that is I'm growing out my bob. So this hair, if you can see here, it wants to go out like this. See, it naturally wants to do that, so I have to tame it. You have to tame your hair. It's like a wild beast. You have to blow dry it and direct it and add heat and add products. See how I'm doing this, and it's even wanting to go under? You have to tame your hair like a lion. It's like a lion's mane, and you have to like tame it. And so we're going to tame our hair today with these two brushes, and I'm going to show you how to blow dry. Let's get into it. Now I'm going to be switching to the paddle brush, and this brush is going to be for this part of my hair. And because it is slightly rounded on the sides, it does also can do a light wave So we're gonna make all of this straighter using this brush. All right, so now that we have got it all dry, we used a lot of direction. One thing that the paddle brush does is that you can brush it straight through and direct your hair towards the back and it'll stay straight, unless you have really curly hair, which is going to be a different technique altogether. But if you have straighter hair or maybe a little bit of wave in it, you can definitely use this and just brush it back. So let me check out the back. So it came out pretty good. As you can see, it's nice and curled under. Look at that. Nice. It was doing that whole outward thing, and now it's not doing that. There is a little bit down under here that wants to go another direction, and I'm sure some of you out there may have those pesky hairs. They just want to go a different direction, or you have a cowlick or something and it just wants to go another way and you're like forcing it and forcing it. I can give you a few tips to handle those as well. So there is some hair back here. I don't know if you can see it now. Part of this, what's happened, okay, you see my cowlick there. Hello. It's like right there. It's more of a split than a cowlick. It's not circular, but it tends to split back here. See that? That's not very attractive. So what I do for that, there are two things you can do for that. One is, I've showed you this before, it's no secret, the barrette. And if I pull this top portion of my hair back and I put my barrette in, do you see how that covers that part? So even when I move around, it's covered. So it acts like a little toupee. And it holds this hair back here. I just put the clip in on top and then it covers that. Now, if I don't have that in my hair, watch what happens. See how that separation? I just leaned over. Let's say you lean over to get your newspaper and you come back up and boom, there it is. It's annoying and it's back again. So if that's the case, longer hair is better. And that is a tip I can give you. Shorter layers back there with that situation can go one of two ways. It can either solve your problem if the layers are past the length of the split, and you can use a tight round brush to roll them down and back and fold them in so it can be a plus point. But if those layers are too short, then they will split right there and they will stay split, and they will only look good shortly after you get your hair styled by your stylist and you walk out and it's great for like a day, and then you sleep on it and then you get up and hello, it's back again, but even worse than before because you've slept on it. So in that case, growing your hair a little bit longer can help because it will give you something to pull back and put in a clip here and to cover it, or it will give you enough hair. Check this out. See how that covers it perfectly. Or it will give you enough hair to use some hairspray on it. So here's my other technique. So let's say you have that nasty little hole. Let's find our hole. There it is. Doesn't take very long to get it back. Just lean my head forward. Pull your hair back like this. Get it covered. And then blast it with some freezing spray right here. Just blast it. Don't hold the nozzle too close because it will, the hairspray will like be all in one spot and it'll be visible. So you want to hold your hairspray at a proper distance, like a foot away, and just kind of spray it and let it fall right on this section. And that is a temporary fix. It will hold your hair down so that when you lean forward, it won't split so easily. And it'll do a second thing. It will put some product in your hair and you can mold it with your hands. But right after you spray, don't touch it. Just let the hairspray dry first. And you can even do 2 layers. You can spray 1 layer, let it sit, comb it out, and put a second layer of hairspray on. More product, all right, will give you more in some cases, not in all cases, but more product. In this case, hairspray, a particular type of hairspray, will give you more hold and control because you're going to product up that hair shaft and it's going to get thicker and it won't be so flyaway and it'll be more controllable. Kind of hairspray you want for something like this is our good old-fashioned Aquanet level 4. Spray it on. You want with the high alcohol content for this particular problem, and the reason for that is if you have something that has too much goop in it, it'll goop up and you'll be able to see the goop on your hair, which doesn't look very attractive and can make you look like you didn't wash your hair for a long time and it's oily, so you don't want to do anything like that. But a hairspray with high volume alcohol will dry quickly and dissipate. The moisture won't stick there, but you'll have that nice sticky thing. You remember the Aquanet? I used to use it in the 80s all the time. Remember when we used to use the rat our hair, or we used to have those spiky short haircuts? Oh my gosh, those were so funny. But it was Aquanet all day long. So something like that, a level 4. If you want something without alcohol, you could use one of my favorites. And I know this is kind of a little bit, I'm saying high alcohol and now I'm saying no alcohol. But if you get this alcohol-free flexible hold by Pantene, if you get a level 3 or 4 in this, it will still give you enough sticky, but it won't have the alcohol if you're sensitive, because some of you out there may be sensitive to the alcohol in hairspray. As the years go by, the nostrils are sensitive, the eyes are sensitive, the skin's more sensitive. In fact, I just had a reaction to CoverGirl eyeshadow that I haven't had before because they're putting these little glitters in there now, and it made my eyes burn and I actually had to return it. That's the good old 4 quad. They're newer ones. I'll put one up here on the screen. And I took it back because I had a burning sensation, and I knew right away it's the metallic in whatever they're putting in there. And yeah, so things may or may not agree with you. So with hairspray, it's the same thing. If it burns your nostrils, then yeah, you go with this alcohol-free option. but choose it in a 3 or level 3 or 4. Now that I've generally controlled my hair and it's completely dry, I'm going to control it some more by using my Conair Pro Infinity straightening iron. And this is going to give me a nice smooth look. It's going to take the frizzies and the flyaways away. As you can see up here, there's some frizzies and flyaways. And this is going to help with those, giving you a nice smooth look. If you've seen me do this before, you can fast forward through this part. Just gonna go in, and maybe you just have a few sections that you want to straighten. You don't want to straighten all of it. Maybe you just want this front section. Putting your hair up in a claw works good. Letting a little bit down, working a little bit at a time. As you can see, I like running my hot iron quick through the hair. You don't want to leave it sitting on the hair too long. This does have heat settings, generally a 15, but sometimes I bump it up to 30 because I'm impatient and I want to get it done quickly. But if you can use it at a 15 level, it will probably be much kinder to your hair. Just go through here. So here's tip number 2 to handle another type of problem with the hair, and that's down here. Going to clip this up. So we can see what's going on back here. All right, so you see how this wants to dent in. I'm going to turn to the side. I don't know if you can see that right there. So that happens for one of 2 reasons. Generally, there's no cowlicks that low, but if you're growing out layers like I am, you're going to have some variation. It's not going to sit well. Where the short layer is where the hair is going to want to dent in. And that's why I like to keep my bob all one length in the back. Not to say you shouldn't do anything in the front, because you can give yourself some wonderful long layers in the front for movement. But in the back, I like to keep it all one length. And that gives me ultimate control. It makes it easier. And I have another video where I get up in the morning and I show you what my hair looks like. All one length gives you that option. Once you start adding layers, especially shorter ones, you may have some hairs that want to go different directions. And some of you with even shorter hair may not have that problem, where you wake up and you have some separation, but it's not too bad. And if you have a little bit more body in your hair, a little bit more of a natural curl or wave, then you just kind of wet it down and scrunch it, and it'll kind of go back to how it was before you slept on it. But in my case, because I wear my hair straight, I need to re-control this every morning. Just this part here where it tends to want to dent in. So I take my flat iron and I bring it down and I curl it around like that, and I just make that hair behave. And that's why separating your hair when you're straightening it is great, because it will give you, you can find that dent and you can work it out. And then let this down. I'm going to pull this hair over here out of the way. And then we're going to take this next layer here, and this tends to dent in here. I know exactly, lack of a better word, dent, I don't know, it just goes in, it concaves in there. So if you have a better word, put it down in the description box. Sometimes I use odd words, you'll notice that about me. Okay, So, and then we'll just curl this around. That's what's great about this. I know I talk on and on about this, I know. It's be bored out of your mind with the Infinity Probe, but I just love it because it has that rounded edge and this won't damage your gray hair. So just know that it's not going to change the color, do anything freaky to it. All right, so now I'm going to drop this again. I'm just going to run through all of this. Back here. Check that again. Make sure that's not going in. Feels good to me. I can feel it with my hand. So I'm liking it. And then I do the top. And for the top, I like to... For the top, I'd like to come in here with my thumb and pick up this top layer and get my iron real close there. It won't burn your head. It shouldn't. It's not, it's hot here on the sides, but it's not like a curling iron. It's not going to instantly scald you, but it would burn you if you held it there for too long. So keep it moving. I would keep it moving. All right, so then I come in here. We're handling the frizzies now. Trying to get those little frizzy guys. Here's another great tip. Never pluck your gray hair. Because what happens when you pull out a piece of gray hair, where the gray hair comes out of your head, right? The cuticle will bend depending on the direction you yank it. And if it bends the opposite direction, the hair that will grow out of there from there on forward, from that point forward, will be crooked and will go a wrong direction. And you'll get these hairs that do this little lightning bolt thing. That's from pulling out gray hair. So don't pull out your gray hair. If you're starting to go gray and you, darn it, I have one, I'm plucking it. Don't pull it, just leave it, because it will come in crooked next time because you're yanking it and you're pulling that little bulbous cuticle over like this, and it stays that way, and then your hair will grow out crooked thereafter. Almost impossible to get all your flyaways to go away. And my hair will calm down. Usually I just washed it. So give it a day or two for the hair shaft to settle out, because it swells up when you shampoo it, you condition it, you heat treat it, you blow dry it, it will swell up. Now on the front part here, since I'm growing out my bangs, which is going well, by the way, I'll keep you posted. It's almost long enough to start pushing it back and blending it into the rest of my hair, which is what I'm going to do today. Just going to flatten, straighten all of this. I like to give the front ends a little bit longer time. Look at how nice and sleek that is. Love it. But I want some height, so I'm going to wear it back in a clip today. And there you have it. So the use of the round brush, the use of the paddle brush. I will put all the tools that I use down in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching as always. Click subscribe if you'd like to see more of my videos. Click like if you like the content, and we'll catch you next time. Stay gorgeous. We'll see you later. Bye.